Well, good afternoon. This is Hope Rosky with Weddings and Celebrations. Well, one of my favorite DJs is here with me today, and his name is Jeff Mora. Jeff, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me back.
Yay!
You want to hug it out?
Yeah,
Let's do this.
yep,
I appreciate you having me back. I love coming here.
No, I love the vibe. It's great because there's so much energy. And as a DJ, that's what you really need is to show that energy when there is a celebration of whether it's a birthday or it's a school dance, a wedding, whatever it is, you need to have that energy and have that vibe. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about that. I know you've been busy doing some weddings, right?
Yeah, wedding season kicked off like right as August was coming to an end. August 25th, I think, I had my first wedding, and then I haven't stopped. And it's not just weddings; it's other events. It's fundraisers, birthday parties I've done, but every single weekend, I think, from here on through till December 31st, I'm pretty well booked up.
Really? So if somebody is looking for an event, all the weekends are booked now, or maybe
there are a few sprinkled in there, and in fact, I did have an opening in mid-November, which was a surprise, but that was going to be an anniversary party where, unfortunately, there was a sickness in the family, so they had to postpone that. But anyway, so, and that may happen, but for right now, I've got a lot of them inked in, but we're always taking phone calls, and I have my partner, Steven, that works for me, too. He's been working for me for almost 3 years now. And I've taken him under my wing, and I'll have him come in here the next time with me.
Okay, great.
I can introduce you to him. You can see kind of what the, who else is available.
And I believe there's like another family member, if I'm not mistaken.
And my son, I'll tell you what, he is going to be doing something this very weekend. He got asked to be doing, because I'm already booked for a wedding, and there was an event that came up. It's a fundraiser and a dinner for a high school Hall of Fame, like a sporting Hall
fabulous.
of Fame. So they needed someone to sit there and play some great background music, and I've trained my son to play fantastic background music so that he can see people of all ages and kind of spin certain songs to kind of set a good vibe, just like I can.
Well, that's great. And speaking of like spinning, so in your music and your selections, what type of music are you spinning these days?
You know what? I've had the most fun just being open format. It's been a lot of fun. I'm starting out with some Motown and some classics, and some funk and some 70s. And sometimes, that'll just come back around throughout the night. We'll just be able to sprinkle it all in and give everybody a chance to really enjoy the whole party. It's been fantastic. The way that we mix with music now with different BPMs, with the controllers, the way that you can just speed songs up and speed them down and mix from oldies to disco to rock and roll to hip hop, rap, Bay Area. I can mix it in, and it's fantastic. And I don't know if you've watched anything online, but there's a big following of some DJs online that are putting out some great content of different mixes that they've got, and it's a lot of fun to take part in.
Speaking of Bay Area, you actually were in Morro Bay, correct?
Monterey, actually.
Monterey Bay.
Monterey Bay.
Yes,
yeah.
And so you will travel. How far in your distance then? Because if you travel to Monterey Bay, you'll travel where else?
I'm at a point now where if you want to fly me somewhere, I'm willing to do that. I got flown out to Florida back in 2019. In 2020, I drove up to Washington State to a tiny little town up there called Snohomish.
Yes, I know.
You know what Snohomish is?
Yes, my dad lived in Washington. God rest his soul. Yes.
I didn't know anybody had ever heard of Snohomish.
Of course.
So
absolutely.
you just take the 99 all the way, and the I-5 actually. Then
yes.
Take it all the way up there, and then you're it's right off the highway. So we didn't really have to do much off road traveling. But anyways, I've been as far down as Santa Barbara now, and the Central Coast is my home. They're in Paso Robles, San Luis Obispo area. So from Grover Beach, Pismo Beach area, all the way down to Santa Maria. I'll do events wherever they're willing to have me go. I don't
There
mind.
you go. See, that's what you want. Have DJ will travel. So with your weddings and things, and you're saying that you're booked with all these events, how far do people need to book out?
So a year for a wedding is a good amount of time to start thinking really seriously. Maybe a year and a half, but I understand that sometimes that's not possible when choosing a date, and you want to get married within that year time frame when you got engaged. But yeah, I would just say the moment you get engaged, make that phone call or
Call him.
yeah. But I would say over the last few years, a year out of the and brides now will usually wait until that mark, and then they'll call like, hey, I'm getting married a year from now. Oh, okay, great. It's just easier to fit in. But
so then how many times are you like conversing with them or doing, just like a Zoom chat or something during that process of pulling it together?
So I've become pretty friendly with them over time. I love, if it's possible, if we're in the same vicinity, I would say the same state, I love to meet them face to face, sit down and talk to them, talk to them.
Yes.
Touch them, see the reactions on their faces when I'm talking to them, and just get a real good feel for how they interact as a couple,
right.
Which is hard to do on video. I know Zoom is great
sure.
for some things, especially long distance couples, but to see them in a normal setting where they're touching each other, being affectionate, it's nice to kind of get their backstory. So I'm meeting with them. If I'm just the DJ, I'm meeting with them at least 4 to 5 times before the wedding. Now that's either over the phone or in person. But if I'm their officiant as well, then we're gonna meet on top of that.
And that's what I wanted to go into next. So not only is he a DJ, he's your twofer guy. He can do the DJ part of it, but
yes.
Prior to that, you do the celebration and the officiating of the wedding. So tell us a little bit about that.
So this was not something that I looked at getting into on my own. My mentor, his name's Andy Morris. He's from the Central Coast. He's one of the best over there, and taught me a lot of how to run my business. And years ago, I think it was 2009 maybe, he suggested to me that I get my minister's license and start performing ceremonies and be that host throughout the entire thing.
Makes sense.
Hope, it's wonderful.
Yeah, I know.
It's great. You get to be up there and you get to be a part of the ceremony. So you really get in touch with the couple.
Right.
You get a feel for them as people. And a lot of them I've stayed friends with over the years. I see them grow up. I get to see their families when they start having children, if they're blessed to have children.
Right.
It's fantastic to just get that much closer with them and their families. And that also leads to just a more in-touch reception. So once we're done with the ceremony, I start talking again, and people are like sitting like you. Oh, here's that guy again. Yeah. Let's listen to what he has to say. It's easier to command their attention. They know the sound of my voice already, and I just get to introduce the toasts and the grand entrance and the bride and groom and lead the reception. And then it is surprising for some people to then see me get back behind the DJ booth and start spinning. Oh, you're going to spin too? And it's like, I wouldn't trust anybody else with the job. You know what I mean? That's it. I'm the best that I know of at this, or else I'd hand it off to someone else. So
one of the things that we had touched on very lightly earlier is the fact that you're doing fundraisers and school events. Tell me a little bit about that.
So and
birthday parties.
Yeah, birthday parties too. School fundraisers. My wife is a teacher,
retired school teacher here.
Okay, you do have a teacher presence about you. I was going to tell you that. There's like an aura about you that just it commands attention.
No, I'm just kidding. Okay.
So my wife was a teacher, and so I got roped into doing events at her school for very little pay, and then. Other schools started calling and it was like, oh gosh, okay, well, yeah, I'd love to. And it was like, I can't just do all these other things and not charge as much. So I had to start, charging a fee for that. And then I just became kind of the guy. And this was when I was in my, I would say I was in my early 30s. I'm in my 40s now. And it's a little difficult for me to dance around with the kids, as much. But back then, I had a lot more energy than I do now, and so the kids loved me. I'd get them out there dancing, and I became a favorite. And I'll tell you this: if there's any DJs watching this, do those school dances, do them, and even if it's at a little bit of a discount, because those kids will grow up, and I am now doing their weddings.
Oh my gosh, that's great!
I've done quite a few kids' weddings now, where I was the DJ at their high school formal or their elementary school dance. It's been pretty amazing. And then through that as well, I've gotten asked or been blessed really to be a part of some fundraisers for school events and other things.
Like fashion shows.
I've actually.
Wink.
Can I just tell you something? One of my first emceeing things I did in high school was MC a fashion show.
That's wonderful.
Yeah,
Good.
for the prom. There was a store in downtown Paso Robles that was doing a fashion show, and they wanted my charisma, my charm, my whatever, and they asked me if I would MC the thing, and I did, and so I got to get dressed
That's
up
great.
in a nice tuxedo. So I was also modeling, and at the time I had hair at the time, so it was all not done right. And anyway, so I'm actually looking forward to now. So many years later, doing another fashion show and coming and co-hosting with you.
That's right.
For the fashion show.
Absolutely. Well, Jeff, is there anything before we wrap up that you'd like to share and let the viewers know before we sign off here?
Just that I'm just been using my voice for my whole entire life. I tried to explain that to some kids at a career day the other day when they were asking me about DJing, and I was like, it's not just about DJing. That's an awesome thing to have and a great tool in my belt, but I do so many other things with the sound of my voice, from not just weddings and birthday parties and anniversaries, and I've been called for funerals and whatnot, and that
And you've
sort of
been
thing.
called
And
on
I've
the
been
phone.
called for that right now. I thought I
He's
just
getting called on
I've
the
been
phone.
all the time. Funerals, sporting events. Sometimes you just need someone to lead or host your event. And so my phone number and my website is for that very reason.
And can you tell the viewers about the phone number and website, please?
My phone number is 559-381-5902. It's morasmobilemusic.com. And you can find me on Instagram at Mora Mobile Music on Instagram, because there's only so many characters you can have. So
yes.
in Instagram, follow me at Mora Mobile Music, but my website is morasmobilemusic.com. You can see some of the wonderful things that people have said about me. You can and I think I'm on Yelp as well.
Good.
You can find some good reviews on there, as well as Wedding Wire and thenot.com.
Well, fabulous. Jeff Mora, it's always a pleasure to have you here on the show. It's always full of energy, synergy, all of those G's that you get going. But I thank you so much, and I hope the viewers really think about reaching out to you when they have a special celebration that's coming about.
Good.
So,
and we're going to make that bridal show a special celebration, right?
You
it's
bet.
Gonna be a lot of fun.
Absolutely. All righty. Well, Jeff, thank you so much.
Thanks
you take
for having
care,
me.
buddy. You
We'll
rock.
see you soon.
All righty. We'll be right back with you. This is Hope Rosky with Weddings and Celebrations.